Janine Antoni was born in Freeport, Bahamas in 1964. She received her Bachelor of Arts from the Sarah Lawrence College, New York, and earned her Masters of Fine Arts from the Rhode Island School of Design in 1989. From there, she moved to New York with a few of her peers and began her work as an artist. Antoni does sculptures, installations, and performances. She often uses her own body as a tool to create her work. In Loving Care, pictured at the bottom, she used her hair to paint streaks of black on the floor. She is also known for turning regular tasks like eating, washing, and sleeping, and turns them into art, often portraying feminist ideals, womanhood, and motherhood, like her piece titled Ween. The piece shows hollow forms that are impressions of Janine's breasts, her nipples, three latex nipples used for baby bottles, and the store-bought package they come in. The title Ween speaks not only to a baby's separation from the mother, but also the separation from her own mother. In a 2013 interview with Art21, Janine speaks about how she was inspired by milagros, small medallions found in Portugal, Spain, Mexico, and Brazil. The way these work is that if you have an ailment, you buy one and have it be hung on the church for it to be prayed on. The ceiling of these churches are filled with tiny body parts. For these pieces, she started pairing things together that interested her and made milagros out of them. These were displayed at her solo exhibition titled Within at the Mattress Factory in Pittsburgh. In that same interview, she talks specifically about this piece titled To Compose. She talks about how when she was a little girl, an aunt would come visit her and teach her how to sit and drink tea like a lady, with her legs crossed. On her website, she explains the meaning behind this piece, stating, quote, "The common gesture of learned femininity, crossing one leg over another, is an act of modesty and grace. In this work, the inferior bone of the right leg has been embedded into the flesh of the left leg. The successful fusion makes it impossible to unlearn this act of femininity." Unquote. As mentioned before, Antoni often brings up motherhood in her work. In an interview with The Cut, she brings up her relationship with her mother and how that has translated into her relationship with her daughter. Quote, "No matter how many times people tell you what it is to be a parent, you can't know it until you've been there. I have a pretty extreme connection emotionally and physically to my mother, and that has been completely extended to my daughter, and to see that as a continuum is really interesting to me, especially as a feminist. Those instincts are so shocking. I felt that very strongly in my mother, and I watched them in myself with awe, how they take over. You know how much you can love another person when their joy is so much greater than even your own joy." Quote, unquote. These three pieces highlight that idea. In her piece titled Mom, Janine's mother is pictured, but at closer inspection you can see a figure in between to represent herself and the connection to her mother. In one another, pictured in the middle, she highlights the connection between her and her daughter through the umbilical cord. In her piece titled Inhabit, pictured on the left, she displays herself suspended or ascending. This being intentionally unclear means she is entrapped or holding space for a delicate creation. Janine has found creative ways to use her body as a tool to create art. Here are just three examples of the many works she has that display that creativity. In her work titled Butterfly Kisses, pictured on the left, she created this drawing by winking with mascara using her right eye for one side of the paper and her left eye for the other. In total, she accumulated 1,124 winks per eye over the span of 3 years. Pictured in the middle is a piece titled Slumber. She created it by using a polysonogram to record her eye movements while she slept, and then she would weave pieces in the pattern that the machine created and made a blanket that she used to sleep with. Finally, one of her most known pieces is pictured on the right, titled Lick and Lather. In this piece, she made a mold of herself, 7 made of chocolate that she licked and 7 made of soap that she washed with. In a presentation hosted by the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., she talks about this piece and how it questions the assumption of beauty in society and within herself. Quote, "I thought using a representation of myself and literally be washing myself with my own image and feeding myself with my own image." Paper dance brings Janine's ideas and beliefs together. In this performance, she uses her body as the main tool, with the themes of this piece being motherhood, identity, and absence. This piece consists of 39 crates containing works previously done by Antoni. The pieces will be shifted as the performance continues to represent the three main themes. While her past works are moved around, the only thing staying constant is Antoni herself. the dancing in the middle with a simple brown roll of paper. She rolls and tangles her body with it, alternating from clothed to nude, changing methods as she responds to her past work. Paper dance is a great representation of bringing Antoni's past works and ideas to the present to get her reaction to it in real time. Since starting her work in the 90s, she continues to push herself to make important works. In an interview with Art Forum, she says, quote, "The works that are important to me are the works that I struggle with. They are the works that are a little bit messy, that are difficult to contain and say what they are," unquote. She says that the more she pushes herself into things she isn't comfortable with, the more it drives her to make things she would have never come up with. Although some may find Janine's work extreme, she continues to be relevant and is admired by many activists and feminists due to the way she celebrates the female body in her work.